Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit and the Disappearing Snowmen. Snow-covered pine-cone forest, and Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit spent the morning building snowmen in the meadow. Ruby gave hers a carrot nose and scarf. "Perfect," she said. Benny's snowman wore a hat and looked very round. "He could almost be my twin," Benny chuckled. They built 5 in total, lining them up proudly. "The best snowman family ever," Ruby declared. But when they came back after lunch, only 3 snowmen were left. Ruby gasped. "Where did they go?" Benny rubbed his head. "Snowmen don't just walk away." The clues. They examined the scene. Paw prints circled the missing snowmen. "Too small for a bear," Ruby muttered, "and too big for a squirrel." A trail of scattered twigs led into the woods. "Let's follow it," Benny said. "The culprit." In a clearing, they found the missing snowmen toppled and half-eaten. A family of deer was happily munching the carrot noses. Ruby laughed. "So that's where they went." The deer looked guilty. "We're sorry. We were hungry, and the carrots smelled so sweet." Benny smiled. "Next time, just ask. We can share plenty of snacks." All's well. Back in the meadow, they rebuilt the snowmen. This time using pine cones for noses and berries for buttons. The deer joined in, helping shape the snow. By evening, the meadow sparkled with new snowmen, better than before. Ruby clapped her paws. Mystery solved and snowmen restored. Benny grinned, and not a single carrot left to vanish. They laughed as the snowmen stood proudly under the winter moon. Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit and the Springtime Treasure Hunt. The first warm breezes of spring swept through Pinecone Forest. Flowers blossomed and bees hummed lazily from bloom to bloom. Ruby Rabbit hopped excitedly outside Benny Bear's cabin, clutching a small map. "Today's the spring treasure hunt. Want to join?" Benny stretched and yawned. "Treasure, as long as it's something tasty." Ruby grinned. "We'll see." The first clue. The map showed a drawing of an oak tree. Beneath its roots they found a note. "Follow the buzzing bees." Sure enough, a trail of bees led them to a patch of daffodils. "There," Ruby said, tugging out a little box hidden among the flowers. Inside was another note. "Seek the stone that looks like a bear." Benny laughed. "That must be the big boulder by the stream." The stone clue. At the boulder, Ruby hopped around until she spotted something shiny tucked beneath a crack. A small tin box held the final clue. "The treasure rests where rainbow colours shine." Ruby's ears twitched. "Rainbow, that must mean the waterfall." The treasure. They hurried to the sparkling falls where sunlight made rainbows in the mist. Behind a rock they found a basket filled with honeycomb, carrots and berry tarts. Benny's eyes lit up. "Now this is treasure!" Ruby laughed. The best kind food and friendship. They shared the treats by the waterfall, the rainbow dancing above them. "Another adventure complete," Ruby said with a smile. Benny nodded, licking honey from his paws. "And the sweetest ending yet." Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit and the Kite in the Tree. A breezy spring afternoon was perfect for flying kites. Ruby Rabbit's was shaped like a butterfly, bright pink and purple. Benny Bear's was big and square, decorated with honeybees. "Ready?" Ruby called. "Ready!" Benny shouted, and together they let their kites soar into the sky. The wind lifted them higher and higher until suddenly Benny's kite took a sharp dive and whooshed straight into an oak tree. "Oh no," Benny groaned. "It's stuck." Ruby giggled. "That tree must like your bees." The rescue plan. Benny tugged on the string, but the kite stayed tangled. "What do we do now?" Ruby tapped her chin. "We need teamwork." First she climbed onto Benny's shoulders. From there she could almost reach the branch. "A little higher, Benny." Benny stretched tall, wobbling as Ruby stretched out her paw. Still the kite was just out of reach. "Help from friends." Just then Daisy Deer trotted by. "Need a lift?" she asked. With Daisy's help, Ruby scrambled up onto the branch and gently untangled the string. With one careful tug, the kite came free and floated down into Benny's paws. "You did it!" Benny cheered. Ruby hopped down, brushing leaves from her fur. "Correction, we did it. Teamwork, plus Daisy." Flying again. Soon both kites were soaring once more, dancing in the breeze. The three friends laughed as the colourful shapes painted patterns across the blue sky. Benny grinned. "Next time, maybe I'll pick a shorter tree." Ruby winked. "Or learn to steer better." They all laughed as their kites twirled happily overhead.